Thank you, Big Daddy. Thank you, Mike. Lance, appreciate it. This room looks a little different than the last time we were in it, I would say. Wow, it's so bright, so clean. Your first photo op. If you take away nothing else from today, I want this to be it. Every action you do should be performed genuinely and passionately with purpose and intent. This is a reoccurring theme. You're going to see this a few times today, but lock this in your brain. Genuine, passionate, purpose, and intent. Now, I want to tell you a story about a wedding I was at a few years ago. It was a lesbian wedding, and that fact has an important thing which you'll see here in a moment. The beautiful summer day, mid-July, we were at an outdoor venue it was a farmer's market, so it was right on the water, one of those open-air ones, so everything was outside. You had the roofs with the tin roofs and whatnot covering it. Gorgeous day. The ceremony, the cocktail hour, everything is smooth, it goes flawless. The DJ looks like he's pretty good. He's dressed nicely, the equipment looks good, everything has sounded fine. So we get to the introduction times. The DJ asks everyone to take their seats, lines up the wedding party, heads out to the center of the dance floor. Gives his welcome, blah, 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 opening introduction, okay. He gets to the moment when it's time to acknowledge grandparents. Now, there are some grandparents that are passed away and with us in spirit, and some that are actually living. He makes a mistake on a set of grandparents that he said that were dead, passed away, but in fact, they happened to be alive right next to him. Yeah, right. Okay, kind of funny. He does that, and the family members are sure enough to remind him, no, they are literally right next to him, right next to him. So he kind of smiles, ha, 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 let's try this again. Grandparents that are here. Okay, fine. People have a laugh. But you can tell that it flusters him a little bit. He gets a little bit taken off track, a little bit out of his rhythm. So he goes on to bring in the rest of the wedding party. He's stumbling on a few words. It's just not as crisp, as clean as it was before. Gets to the moment where it's time to bring in the wedding couple, again, two brides. He invites everyone to their feet if able, talks about how it's his pleasure, his honor, something like that, he said. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce for the second time as husband and wife. I should have put the Pac-Man dying sound in this one. Husband and wife. Yeah, cringy, tough moment. And from what I knew about the couple is that they were a very proud one. And in the area we were at, it's a very big supporting community of the LGBT community. So finding a place that was safe, inclusive, who knows what they have gone through in their lives, the obstacles. I mean, a few years ago, they couldn't even legally get married, and here they are. So all the hate, all the discrimination, all the negativity that surrounds that, it's a big thing for people that can finally achieve that goal. Literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that was now tarnished by this DJ's actions, mistakes. And it's not just messing up a title, messing up a grandparent, live or dead, or title. It's more than that. What it represents, what it symbolizes, what it means to them. The fact that they could finally share this moment with their closest friends and family and be in a safe spot that they feel love. As you can imagine, when the DJ said this, the crowd for sure let him know that he effed up. And it wasn't like the fun joking type like when he messed up the grandparents. It was the looks on their faces. It was more like, what the hell did you just do? Do you realize what you just did? And if he wasn't flustered before then, oh, you can imagine that he is certainly thrown off track and flustered now. You can see the worry on his face. He says some comment about, oh, sorry, my bad, I'll make up for that later. He continues to bring the couple in. At least he gets their names right. So the couple gets in. It's time to go into their first dance. Okay? And it's a choreographed first dance that they've been planning for, I assume, probably for a long time, right? Anyone does a choreographed dance takes some practice. And they were very proud people, too, two proud brides. So DJ goes back to his DJ booth, plays the first dance song. Midway through, the music cuts out, and all of a sudden you hear a voice. It happens to be a recording of their ceremony vows. Now, in some cases, this could be a really cool thing, a nice personal touch, a surprise, okay. But when you're doing a choreographed dance, and it screws them up, and then all of a sudden they just stop on the dance floor and stop dancing and look, after you've already made these two other mistakes, it's not a good look. And you should have seen the death glare from one of the brides that looks right at the DJ, and it could cut through glass. And you could tell at that point that everyone knew, wow, this is a super awkward, super cringy, terrible moment. If you don't believe me, I actually have a video of this. Do you want to see? Yeah, okay. And I did actually get permission from the DJ to show this. Oh yeah, the living grand, so 3 big mistakes. And I actually did get permission, like I said, to show you this train wreck.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Ithaca Farmers Market. As we are here to celebrate the marriage of Alex.
I do not have an identical twin, in case you were wondering.
And also the grandparents of Alex, Josephine and Alfredo. Sorry. Let's come in again. We have some special guests that are here with us, dressed beautifully. Grandparents of Alex, Josephine and Alfredo. Friends and family, I invite you to join me on your feet at the table, as it's my honor to introduce for the second time as husband and wife, the United States couple. How's that, huh? Yeah, thank you. For the second time as wife and wife, Alexander.
Look at that face.
I'm proud to be the first stop in standing ovations. And it will only one for little James Chandler as your pile of flowers and will be your husband, your love, and respect.
That hurts. I can't lie. Every time I watch that video, it triggers me. It brings me back to that day, to the days following after that. All the time, like, editing this seminar, going through it and practicing, there were times I had to skip over that because I just didn't want to feel like I'm feeling right now. But I want you guys to see that and feel it. And that hurts. Knowing how big of an impact my actions had there. In a moment they will never, ever, ever get back. Well, how do I feel? Clearly not good. In the moment, yes, I was embarrassed, I was flustered, I was bothered, I was upset. Sure, I was like, okay, damn, I made a mistake. But in the moment, I don't think I fully grasped the gravity of it, the situation, how big it was. You know, and at the time I was, this is my 3rd wedding of the weekend, it's a Sunday, I'm rolling, I'm booked all year. Man, I'm crushing the clubs, I'm making a ton of money. Look, and I just picked up 20 new Instagram followers last night. I'm the man, right? Next day, I get a Google review from one of the bride's fathers. It's the first negative one I've ever gotten, and it was extremely detailed, extremely strong, graphic, not like gory graphic, but very potent. And every single word he said in it was true. And it crushed me. Also, the brides made a Facebook post about their wedding DJ and the society we live in, something, about discrimination or not being inclusive, and the DJ messed this up, husband and wife, this is the world we live in. Again, and then seeing all the comments from their friends and family about making fun of me or backing up, supporting kind of what the father said. Again, another crushing blow. It hurt a lot. And I tell you, to this day, in fact, it hurts every single moment I think about it. Because I think like many of you, oftentimes when you let someone else down, you disappoint them, that hurts more than when you hurt yourself. I see a lot of heads nodding. You know what that means. You know what that feels like. It was a turning point for me, though. Well, I had a couple days to sulk it over and go in this mild state of depression and think about it. And then I made the change. I decided, hey, I never, ever want to feel like this again. I need to do something that is going to put me in a position that I will never be in that position again. That's when I decided to start investing a lot of my time in attending these conferences and reaching out to other resources on how to be a better MC, not just DJ related, but just entertainers, speakers in general, everything. Invested a lot of time, a lot of money for that. Of course, because I never want to feel like that again. So, why did that happen? Why did I make that mistake? The number one reason is my heart wasn't in it. Think about that. What are we here to do? Just pack dance floors? Or touch people in a way for one of the biggest moments of their lives? My heart was not in it. Talked about my ego. I was overconfident. Yeah, I'm crushing it. I'm doing awesome. Okay, I'm the man. Took a smaller Sunday wedding, third wedding of the weekend. Those of you that do multiple ones in a weekend, you know how exhausting, how hard that can be. I didn't prep as much. I probably didn't look at the intro sheet, like with the grandparents' mistake, until right before doing the intros, because, I crushed the last two weddings. Easy. I was exhausted. And that goes into one of the things I'm going to be talking about is preparation, making sure you set yourself up for success and you don't put yourself in the position where you are burnt out. If you can only give 30% of yourself on a third wedding, don't do 3 weddings in a weekend. I did not have the tools, the knowledge, or the mindset that I have today, and a lot of that is what I'm going to be sharing with you. Major goals. I want to inspire you. When I started coming to these conferences and shows and taking other resources and training classes, I was inspired. And I'm guessing that's the reason most of you are here now, to be inspired. I don't want any of you to ever feel like I did. I want you to understand just how powerful you are, how much of an impact you can make. We have the power of every one of us here, both in a positive way and a negative way. And of course, maximize your joy, your gratitude, success, yeah. Today I'm going to share major overcoming themes, overarching concepts, as well as some easy to implement tips, because I know you guys like that as well, of course, to help you become the best wedding entertainer as possible. But while we're on the subject of mistakes, I want to touch on this real quick, because I think this is important, because mistakes are going to happen. And probably one of the biggest mistakes in public speaking history was Steve Harvey here. And for those of you over there at DJ Collective, I think Mike Walter referenced this as well. I believe that if you make a mistake, if it's something minor, say you're introducing the groomsman and the name is John, you call him Jack. That's kind of a minor thing, right? It's not the end of the world. Okay, joke about it. I'm sorry, Jack couldn't be here, but John is here. Thank you. Like something like that, okay, you move on, you make a joke. If you make a major mistake like I did, I don't think humor is the right way to go. You have to own it. You have to apologize and have empathy and be genuine. Be honest. If you F up like that, say, wow, I'm sorry, guys. I made that mistake. I apologize. Not like what I did in the video, because, I didn't know what I know now. And I think it's okay to tell your guests that you were doing a reset, right? Oh, hey, wow, I lost my train of thought there. Let me think. You know what? Let's restart that. Where are we at? Okay, flower girl, ring bearer, let's go. Okay? Be honest, be genuine. As I do in all my presentations, I will be the first to admit that I am certainly not perfect. There's not one right way to do most of this stuff. I mean, there are a lot of bad ways, but there are a lot of ways that will bring you success that are okay. I'm here to learn as well. And if you don't believe that, in 2 days, I'm certainly practicing what I'm preaching. I'm taking another Marbecca class on Thursday, right here in Las Vegas, with Russ and Morgan Powell, that's right. So even though I may be the teacher right now, I will certainly be the student sitting in your positions very soon. I will continue to do so for the rest of my life. Inspire, connect, find your own voice. If you like what I present here and you want to take away some of these, fantastic. But take away as much as you can. I've taken things from Mike Walter, lots from Rebecca, lots from Bill Herman, Joe Bond, everyone I can sit in front of or hear or listen to. So very important, find what you like, make it your own. Got an important message. Oh, it's really low. Master Yoda, he's much to learn you still have, ha ha ha, okay. That is true for all of us. Again, here's our main theme. If you haven't taken a picture of it, take a picture of it, it'll be up again. Every action we do should be performed genuinely and passionately with purpose and intent. I didn't just say every word or everything you say, I said every action. We're gonna talk about that. So today's lineup, we're gonna talk about overall mindset, we're gonna talk about navigating specific parts of weddings. Mindset. Understanding your purpose. I already touched on this, of just how important you are, how much power each and every one of you has at a wedding. The preparation part, and then just being authentic. Purpose and power. I love this quote from Bill Herman. The person with the microphone is the most powerful person in the room. Haha, I've got the mic. Understand your power. It's a gift. And like in Spider-Man, with great responsibility or great power comes great responsibility. Thank you, Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Rest in peace. You have that power, the gift, to do good and, of course, to do bad, like you saw what I did. I'm willing to bet that every couple that you guys work with, they say, hey, I want to have a memorable wedding. I want people to talk about my wedding 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Would you agree? Most people want a memorable wedding in a good way. Did you know that it's a scientific fact that every human memory is tied to an emotion? Think about that. Every human memory is tied to an emotion. So if you want to create more memories, you want to make it more memorable, it's about bringing out those emotions, enhancing those, and we have the power to do so with our words, our music, our action, everything else. Memories, emotions, remember that. And yes, I do agree, packing dance floors, elite mixing level skills, all that, very important too. But this part, the MC part, this is where the real human connection comes from. Emotions. Be prepared. Preparation. I mean, a lot of this is now common sense, kind of goes without being said. You got to take care of yourself physically, sleep, hydration, voice. I do recommend taking as many other courses as you can, whether it's Marbecca, whether it's Bill Herman, Mike Walter's workshops that he does stuff in the DJ's Vault. Take it all in as much as you can. You'll learn more about that, of course. You got to be physically, mentally, emotionally fit and in good position. That way, you don't set yourself up for failure by showing up to an event tired and sluggish, and then like, oh, what's the name again? I forgot the name. No. And of course, know your stuff. We could do a whole seminar on that, on the preparation process, how we organize all the planning stuff. But you just got to know your stuff, and how you do that, of course, is up to you, whether it's what planner, whether it's you go meditate for 30 seconds before you do your grand introductions, all those things. Know your stuff. Many ways to do that. Just one laugh, that's it. This was going to be my opener for my OnlyFans, too. Authenticity. Being comfortable in your own skin and owning who you are is the first step to authenticity. Embracing who you are, embracing your fears, embracing your flaws, knowing your strengths. Very important one is being comfortable with vulnerability. This is the most vulnerable seminar I've ever given. And who you are, there's a good example, I think, last night at the DJ Takeover, for those of you who were here. If you notice that a lot of the people that were dancing, and a lot of DJs don't dance in general, but I kind of noticed that a lot of the DJs that were dancing were the ones that have been here a while, that were more confident who they were. The Joe Bonds, Alex Updike, right here front and center. Like the people that were comfortable and know who they were, and they weren't afraid to have their crappy dance moves. I mean, most DJs aren't good dancers here, let's be honest. You do a lot of, most, not all. Mitch, Mitch, you almost, yeah, you're a great dancer. But they were okay owning themselves and who they are. And I think a lot of the first timers here that were maybe sitting more in the back were afraid of the shame, the embarrassment, which we're going to talk about here in a second as well, hold them back. So being comfortable with who you are. I talked about Marbecca. For those of you that don't know Marbecca, Mark and Rebecca Farrell, they've been industry legends for a couple decades now. That's the class I'm taking on Thursday. They post all the time in Facebook. And show of hands, who here is taking a Marbecca class? Oh, fantastic. I know, Chris, you've taken like 50, so you're probably a first ballot Hall of Famer there. The biggest driving thing, and by the way, you definitely should, if you can take these, take them. They were game changers in not only my DJ career, but my life, in all of my relationships. It had a bigger impact there in my relationships and life than it did as a MC wedding DJ. It's all about love. Right here. It's not about what you say, but how you say it. Love. I'm talking about connection. Remember, you are more than just a button pusher. Some of you don't even realize that the power and potential that you have to make that real impact, that genuine connection, enhance those emotions, make those events more memorable, and leave an impact on the guest more than just, oh, I was sweaty because I danced all night. So let's talk about navigating weddings. We're going to talk about staging and presence, word selection, and then specific moments during a wedding. Staging, first thing, if you take Bill Herman's classes, staging is a big concept, a big thing that he goes over. Everything you do with your staging should be done with intent and purpose. Now, this is from the moment you walk into the venue and you introduce yourself to the venue manager, to why you're going to put your DJ booth here instead of here, and why is the speaker here, and are you going to have the toasters, when they give toast, stand right here next to the head table, or are you just going to give them the mic so they can just do whatever they want? You got to set yourself up for success, and again, everything you do is with intent. Being visible. When you're performing and you're trying to connect with people, the ability to look them in the eyes, have them see your face, and be visible is super important. There's a big difference than if I just started talking and I'm back here and, hey guys, we're going to talk about, I don't know, something about speaking and whatnot. No. The ability to come out and be visible and make that eye contact and have that spot. Owning the stage, being confident, saying, hey, this is my time. Well, not like selfishly my time, but hey, I'm going to do something important, and I'm going to give you a reason to care. Purpose and intent, everything you do. Why should they care if you're doing it? Why should you care what I'm about to say? Why should you care about this cake cutting that we're about to do? Intent, staging. Awareness. Now, cue points, what I mean by that is kind of physically where you are standing on stage. If you've noticed, I've been standing mostly here for a reason. When you are at a wedding, now I get there are times when you might have to speak over here, and then you're going to the head table, but the dance floor's over here. I get that. But for the most part, you want to find a spot. You can even put a piece of gaff tape down so you're always in the same spot. That way when they hear your voice, because remember, every time you speak at a wedding, you're usually interrupting 100 to 200 to 300 conversations. So when they start hearing your voice, to get their attention, you want to have them be able to be like, okay, I know where to look. Oh, I hear that voice. Boom, center stage right here. Okay. So awareness, having those cue points. We talk about body movements. Now, I'm not perfect, but it's something that I've worked on a lot. By the way, if you don't record your intros, your performance, it's just like an athlete. Why do they take videos of them taking BP, or Tom Brady watching himself throwing having the perfect fundamentals? It doesn't happen by accident. I highly recommend you do that so you can see, okay, are you doing something with your arm that you weren't aware of? You bending over your leg? Yeah, that's funny, right? Like, what are you doing? Are you aimlessly walking around like this, just with no purpose, with no intent, just because it's not necessarily you're nervous, maybe you're just doing it for a reason. But your body movements, again, purpose and intent. Watch professional MCs, talk show hosts, Grammy Award show hosts, what they do. There's a lot you can learn from that. Microphone placement, having it properly so you're not too close and popping and you're getting all low and mumbly. No. This kind of goes with knowing your equipment, how to set the gains, lots of different options out there, but having a proper microphone placement so you can see my face. It's picking up a good sound quality, understanding what kind of mic you have. You can talk to Ben Stowe about that, he's an expert there. So you know, okay, what's the optimal spot? Pausing for reactions. A lot of untrained DJs, untrained MCs get intimidated, get scared, get nervous by silence. Silence isn't always bad. In fact, it can be very powerful, especially when you get to the level where you are connecting with people, you're bringing those emotions, you're connecting with them in that kind of way, because it gives them time to process it and feel. You say a joke, anytime a good comedian says a joke, they let the audience laugh and clap. They don't start talking over while they're laughing. Same thing with negative and positive emotions. So use silence as your friend. Word selection. A lot of times, again, untrained DJs will say things like, I need you all to come to the dance floor right now. I need your attention over here. I need this. I need that. Maybe try saying it in a way that is not commanding. People don't want to be told what to do, especially from stranger. Try saying something like, I invite you to please take your seats for dinner. Or, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Alex and Ryan, I kindly ask you to turn your attention over here as they are going to be cutting this beautiful cake. Use the couple's names. Also, instead of it coming from, hey, I need you to do this, it's the couple that needs to do this. Like a sparkler send-off. Who loves those, right? The staged ones. Hey, everyone, I need you to do the sparkler send-off. I honestly do find it works better when, this is not me asking for you. Alex and Ryan would really love to share this moment, this awesome sparkler send-off that the whole world loves. It's going to get at least 20,000. On behalf of them, they would love you to join them. Thank you. Titles, pronouns, 2023. If you're unsure, ask. Don't make mistakes. Don't call two brides husband and wife. But even with other titles, different pronouns, some people want to be called doctor. Okay, they earned it. So again, just if you're unsure, ask. I'm a big proponent, and I think most entertainers, MCs are, of using humor, using wittiness, being clever, improv. If you ever get the opportunity to take a comedy class, an improv class, anything like that, that will certainly strengthen you as a wedding performer, as an MC for sure. A great tip I took from Rebecca that I live with, and I tell the couples, every couple that I have an intro Zoom with is this, is one of our mindsets when it comes to being your MC is dig, direct, inform, or guide. If what you're doing at a wedding is not directing guests to do something, informing them of something important, or guiding them through an event or activity, then it probably shouldn't be said. That's funny, because on the plane ride here, I watched Inglourious Bastards, and the scene where he does the 3 thing, and yeah, he gives it away 3, and then they all die, because 3, yeah. If you haven't seen that movie, you're just like, what the hell is that? Okay, next. I think we need no, what? Who said that? You? Why, what is this guy? I just looked up random dude on Google, so. Don't zoom out. Well, let's get a quick dictation lesson.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. You hear me? Honor! Look at me! You ready? The way it's said properly is WNBC.
Who's seen Private Parts? Who's seen the movie Private Parts?
WNBC. Everyone.
WNBC.
WNBC.
All right, so those are obviously made for entertainment and humor, but if you go back and watch the Anchorman clip, Will Ferrell is a top-tier, world-class speaker, MC, actor. He actually does a really good job of the dictation. He does a great class on dictation and getting into some of the more intricate technical parts of that, which I'm excited to learn more about and take more, but that's something that you can start thinking about on your own, dictation. Here's that main theme again. I want to drill it into your heads that every action should be performed genuinely and passionately. Purpose, and intent, everything you do. So let's talk about moments at weddings. Ceremony. Not everyone speaks at the ceremony as the DJ. So it could be your first impression, it may not be. Be aware of the tone and energy, right? People aren't coming from the bar, usually. You're playing background instrumental music, a relaxing tone. You're not heading into packing the dance floor at peak hour. So what you're gonna say here, if you talk, you wanna be rather quick and direct. It's not where you're gonna start talking about how you know them and tell a college story, no, no, no. Usually at our weddings, what's typically said at a ceremony is an unplugged ceremony, right? Most people these days have an unplugged ceremony, so I'll give you an exact example of what I would do at a wedding if it was an unplugged ceremony. Come on. Hi folks, good afternoon. Now, our ceremony will be starting here in just a few moments. But before we do so, I have a quick message from Alex and Ryan, and that is that they would like this to be an unplugged ceremony. So if you could please keep your cameras and phones away for the duration of the time, they would appreciate that very much so you can be in the moment with them. Quick and direct, I didn't say who I was. Right there. That's usually what I would say at a ceremony in that tone. Introductions. This is kind of like the big first impression. If you don't say anything at the ceremony, besides them seeing you walk around or seeing your ceremony, this is the first impression of you as a performer, where you get to, and you only get one shot at a first impression in life. You're either gonna show them at that moment, oh wow, this DJ, this MC is good. I'm drawn in. I wanna hear what they're gonna say. Or it's, one of these wedding DJs again, okay, they're not really saying much. All right, I'll wait till he plays Electric Slide later. Great, go to the bar. This is your opportunity to set the tone for later, giving them that good impression. You can show off and impress. And I put show off in quotation marks. So what I mean by that, it's not that, okay, it's not joke time. It's not about, hey, let me tell you how awesome and great I am. But it's about doing the things that have to be done at every single wedding in such a fantastic manner that they can't help but realize, wow, this person is good. Not doing extra, but doing the normal little things so damn well. Question to ask yourself, you can't lie to yourself. How many of you are getting asked for business cards before dinner, before the dancing part? You don't have to put your hands up. That's great though, that's fantastic. What does it take for that to happen? Think about it. When most guests come to a wedding, they think DJ, music, dancing, all right. But if you can get them to want your business to leave such an impact on them that they have to go out of their way and say, I need your contact information. I don't know what my wedding is, but I need you. You're doing something very well beyond something that they weren't even expecting. That should be your goal if you're not doing that. And if you are not getting asked for business cards on the reg beforehand, then there's something that you can probably improve on in the event hosting in the MC aspect. When it comes to the introductions, I do believe that you have a better ability to connect if you have no music playing in the background. And if you're out front center, again, we talked about the presence. Because the music in the background is just gonna create more interference, more noise. Thank you, yeah, exactly. And I know it can be a crutch for some that, okay, well, it's not just me here with, and if I stumble or I mess up a word, it's just silence. That's very intimidating, that's tough. So that's why people play the tracks behind and, okay. Again, if you wanna do that, okay. I just feel like you have a better opportunity to connect with people with your voice when that's the only thing they hear. Part two for introductions. Okay, just like we did for ceremony, you have to understand the energy. Now you are building into something climactic. Weddings are such a roller coaster of energy and emotions. And at this point, you're building into a grand moment where you're gonna bring them in. You're not gonna call brides husband and wife either. But boom, we're gonna climax, we're gonna have this monumental moment. Understanding your order of announcements as well. When do you acknowledge grandparents and then start building the energy afterwards? Do you have to do like because usually if you acknowledge grandparents, that's a little bit more lower energy. Should you do that first before you really get them hyped to bring in the rest of the wedding party? So think about that and do it in terms of energy, because you don't really want to do something super energetic, climactic, and then come back down to something that may be more similar. At least I prefer that way. I prefer to keep that going up and then build, 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 boom, couples in. We talked about the position again, where you are so they know where to look, where you are positioned, those key points that you had earlier, try to be consistent. Command of the room. How do you get the command of a room? That's tough. It's easy when the guests are all DJs that understand what it's like when people are talking and they just act accordingly. That's nice. I wish I had $1 million answer of, oh, this is how it's done. I don't. It's something I still struggle with. Some groups are awesome and they just know to shut up when you stand there and say, you smile and wait. Yeah. Some will never because they're just rowdy, which will be good probably later for dancing, but when you're trying to get their attention to command the room. I'm going to show you an example of that. One of the biggest strengths, again, if you set the tone earlier, when you're coming out of cocktail and say, we're going to be doing our introductions in 10 minutes, et cetera, and you set that tone, they know where you are. When you come back and it's time for the introductions, you take your position. You stand on the dance floor. If you're visible, they can see that something's about to happen. And you've already proven to them that you're going to provide value. You're not just talking to talk. So hopefully then you can sit here. And there are times, I learned this from Bill Herman, where I'll just look at tables and thank you. Or make a comment, something where I'm talking so they hear my voice, but I'm not really saying anything too important, which you're going to see in this example here. That way you get their attention. You can call out a table, play with the crowd a little bit. Playing with the crowd when it feels right. There are some crowds, it's just not probably a good idea. It's just not going to work. I did a wedding not too long ago. It was with 2 medical students, and they were very no emotion, very military-esque, but very medical, very proud, very smart people. You know, the ones that think that they're the smartest people in the room, as was all their families. They were also foreign from America. So that's a good example where the first time I cracked a joke or I said something into someone, hey, that's a beautiful dress, and it was blank face. And I knew, okay, this is not the crowd I'm going to be playing with too much. Knowing where the VIPs are seated. So VIPs, if you're acknowledging grandparents, someone at their tables, the officiant, knowing where they're seated. This is easy to do. Thank you. He says, or alive. Very much so. If you have grandparents that some are alive and some are deceased, you're goddamn right that I made that change on my intro sheets from now on. If they are alive or deceased, big red letters, deceased. Okay, so I don't make that mistake again. No, that's a good one. I didn't think about that. Good one. But knowing go look at their seating chart. That way, and I have another example, I'll show you this one. If you're introducing Grandpa Joe, instead of doing the, all right, and let's hear for Grandpa Joe. Hey, Joe, where are you at? Put your hand, Joe, yeah, there you are. It just doesn't come off as polished, as professional, where if you can say, folks, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Grandfather Joe, who's seated right here at table 6. You can walk there, you can do this, and I'll show you this example. So, just knowing where they are, I make notes in my intro sheets. I'll say, okay, Grandpa Joe, table 6, right, because it'll be where I'm looking right, short, or left far, okay, left far table, or corner by the pillar. Make your mental notes so when you look at it, you know easy. Okay, yep, Aunt Joan, boom, table 3. So here's a quick intro example of me. It's 45 seconds of when I walk right out, and I'm about to do the welcome, and my playfulness with the table and getting their attention. And if we might need more volume here. That's okay.
After party movies? Anyone else? Well, this would be a fun table. We know that much for sure. Any other fun tables out there? I can tell you would be a great crowd just from the ceremony when you started clapping for the processional. That doesn't usually happen. That's pretty good.
I pause for a second because I continue to talk.
So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris. Some of you may know me as DJ Washburn. That's very, very sweet, very kind. Thank you very much. Better than that, though, is that I have the honor of welcoming all of you to the wedding celebration of Tyler and Alex.
So that's one example here. Next example is of me acknowledging a VIP at a table, and something interesting happens because not planned. He actually he stands up and starts walking towards me. So this was not scripted by any means. And here, let's roll it. Before we proceed, there is a special guest that is seated in this room that I would first like to acknowledge. So if you could please join me in welcoming grandfather of the groom over here at table 1, Mr. Fred Sibley. Oh, do you want to say something? Do you want to say something? Oh, you're supposed to say hi. Oh, table 1 booted him. We want to acknowledge Fred here. Look, they sent him up here. Well, thank you, Fred. We expect to see you on the dance floor later. So I make a little joke there, a little playful, and that's where having the improv, having that wittiness comes into play. So if you can take those trading classes and figure out how to be better at improv and that type of thing, because it does make a difference. I saw some of you that were taking videos of that. The good news is, scan this QR code, because I've put all those videos and a lot of other just raw footage of my intros if you want to see. Because I know there aren't a lot of places you can go to see people do introductions. Where do you go for that? As I've done in many of the Facebook groups and different DJ resources groups, I've included a lot of my, and they're not edited. A lot of them, I make a lot of mistakes. I still make mistakes today, of course. But yeah, there's examples of there. I actually did a full wedding vlog that's on my YouTube channel of a recent wedding where I do the full behind the scenes. So if you want to see everything I do from behind the scenes, it is there. Everything in my preparation of saying, hey, okay, I'm about to do this. This is why I'm going to do this. With emceeing, with setup, with presence, and with mixing too. A lot of transitions and different things. And this country song didn't hit, so we're going to go back into Bruno Mars here. Okay. I also put my Marquee Show seminar that I did this past June, talking about implementing videos to your sets, to your weddings. It's a good one. And recently, if any of you that follow me, I posted some of my recent non-wedding set lists from a school dance I did, as well as a nightclub, a college bar nightclub. I put the audio recording and the set list, and those got huge reactions. People were like, oh, I love this. I want to see more of this. So I included those in there too, in case you're curious. You want to see some of the stuff that hits pretty well. And and then for my DJ, I just uploaded this morning my DJ takeover set from last night. That's on there, the full, again, raw 20-minute unedited version of that. So yeah, enjoy that. That's in a Google Drive. Feel free. Use it as needed. Toast. When it comes to toasts, remember we talked about the person in the room is the person with the microphone has the most power, is the most powerful person in the room. Well, you're about to give that power to someone else. Could be a stranger. Most likely it's a stranger to you, maybe not a stranger to them, to the guests. So understand that. It's okay. Contact them beforehand. Touch base. Say, hey, what can I do to support you? Are you doing anything where you might need me to drop some music? Are you going to talk about the Yankees? You want me to play Frank Sinatra, New York, New York? I'm from New York. Empower them day of. And you're not always going to get a chance to talk to them, and not everyone is going to want to put the effort in to contact the DJ, and that's okay. Sometimes it's great, sometimes not. But day of, you have the opportunity to empower them and give them confidence. Instead of just saying, okay, here's the microphone, I'm going to give you an introduction, you do your thing, you can say, hey, it's okay to be nervous. You know, you can tell, like, when you're going, I mean, the maid of honor is shaking, and you can just tell that she's nervous, she's not eating anything, she's standoffish. Hey, it's okay to be nervous. Being nervous means that you care. I tell them all the time, it's much more important for you to be genuine and tell them how you really feel than worry about being a world-class speaker. They're not going to care about that. They want to know it's from here. Just like being a good MC, from here. Quick bonus for toasts. This is an opportunity, not just as an MC, but as a DJ, you can really make a good impact here and make people smile coming out of toast. Yeah, take a picture of this song list. I have a whole crate that's called wedding fillers that are just reoccurring songs that I will drop at certain parts. For example, like the Friends theme song, very, very common, especially for millennials. Most people love Friends. So if a friend is giving a speech coming out of it, you drop the Friends theme. It'll also give you an idea of how many people clap on the clap part. That'll tell you, like, oh, they're going to really love 90s and 2000s tonight. Okay? Satisfied from the Hamilton musical. At the end, there's a part, To the groom, to the groom, to the bride from your sister. Okay, so when a sister gives a toast, I love going into that. And it also impacts the people that like Hamilton. They're like, oh, this DJ's playing Hamilton? Love that. Because if you love Hamilton and you hear the DJ doing that, you connect. You're like, yeah. One of the DJs last night played the Hamilton song. Who was it? Oh, yes, David Osborne. Fantastic job. I noticed that. I picked that up. He played the Lose Yourself, one shot from Hamilton. Great. And anyone else that loves Hamilton, that's like pretty cool. So yeah, take a list of these. Other ones, Golden Girls, it starts with, thank you for being a friend, right? So that's a good one too. Bad Boys, when you do law enforcement weddings. Be ready for shout-outs. This is an opportunity. Listen to their toast. If they reference something that you can then include, say they're talking about playing video games, playing a Mario Party all night, you better damn believe it, I'm playing the Super Mario Brothers theme right out of that one. Or if you're doing videos and you have video screens, same thing. A lot of times women will talk about, oh, you're my person, right? Meredith and Christina from Grey's Anatomy. I have a picture of them ready to go. I throw that up there and people are like, oh yeah, I love that. So yeah, those are little things you can add in for sure. So again, a recap of today's lineup. We talked about overall mindset, navigating weddings, that main theme. Again, I cannot tell you enough how important this is. Being genuine, having passion, purpose, and intent. This has nothing to do with emceeing, but if you saw me last night, I like to do a little self-plug sometimes. The reason I say this is because I know a lot of you have come up to me that are poker fans, and if you didn't know, if you don't follow me, that I often play high-stakes poker on TV on Hustler Casino Live, and a lot of people have asked me about this, so I feel like there's interest. That's why I'm taking 30 seconds to do this. I'll be playing again this Monday night on Hustler Casino Live. It's free. You can watch it on YouTube. If you've watched any before, the biggest game I played was with Phil Ivey. It was a massive game, $100,000 minimum buy-in, cash game, and I didn't make it through the whole show, in case that says anything. It means I lost all my money. Not good. So yeah, poker fans, there you go. Facts from today. These are facts, takeaway facts. I've given you tips and action steps that are easy to implement, right? You can build a creative, the friends theme, you can do things. You can be more conscious about where you're standing, easy to implement actions. Some of the more overarching concepts and themes and mindset, that just doesn't happen overnight. It's gonna definitely take some passion and drive and practice on your ends to achieve that. I've opened up about my mistakes. The biggest mistake I've ever made in the history of my DJing career, like I told you, it still haunts me to this day. Every time I watch that clip and see the look on that bride's face, I get that feeling right in my stomach. It hurts. I believe that everything I've shared is possible for everyone. You want to know the real reason, though, why many of you are going to struggle, or some people already struggle at improving? Want to know the truth?
Can't handle the truth.
I'm sure some of you saw that coming. But it is fear, and this is what I'm going to wrap up on. Fear. And I believe Bill Herman, some other people have definitely referenced this before, maybe Mike did. Fear. According to the National Association of Mental Health, people's number one fear is public speaking. That means they would rather die than have to speak in public. You can see that snapshot. It's a pretty bad, I don't know if you can see that, but the fear of failing, the fear of forgetting the content, the fear of looking nervous or insecure, the fear of judgmental, unexpected, fear of time, technology, okay. I believe MCs, performers, we hold back because of the fear of being left out, of being embarrassed, of the shame. Just like last night, those of you that were at the takeover party, some of you that were afraid of coming out and dancing and being in front of your peers. More for the newbies, like the people that have been here that are confident, you were out here, you were having a ball. I challenge you tomorrow or tonight, if you go to the DMS party, or tomorrow the last party here. If you're new, get your butts out here. Don't let that fear, that shame, embarrassment. The people that are here because they want to help the people sitting around you. That's why we're here. We all want to learn and inspire from each other. It's a human nature that everything we do is out of the need for love and belonging and being accepted. So anything that goes against that we're afraid of, is going to be a big fear for us. Because in prehistoric times, If you were exiled, it meant death. So it's literally in our DNA. We want to belong, we want to feel loved, and we want to be accepted. That face, yeah.
Have you talked to them since? Thank you for sharing.
I was afraid. I had a lot of fear.
Have you talked to them?
I have talked to them since, yes.
Okay.
I was afraid. In that moment, I was afraid. I was embarrassed. I had a lot of shame. I was afraid about how the rest of the night was going to go. I was afraid about how my career was going to go. When I got that Google review, which was horrendous and brutally honest, and saw those Facebook posts, I was afraid. What's this going to do for my business? Who's going to see this? What are they going to think of me? Am I going to have to find another career? Am I a failure? It's real. The fear. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you really understand that you're not just button pushers. The power you have in these weddings to impact families. If you make mistakes, it can be a negative one. How much power you really have to connect with these people in a way that they are going to remember you. They're going to worship you in their minds. They're going to have the mom that sees you again years from now come up and give you a hug because, oh, you just made their child's day that day. Remember that. It's not just paychecks. These are people. Don't let fear win. You can be afraid. Embrace it. Embrace your mistakes. Embrace your vulnerabilities. Learn from them and make the choice. And that's the difference between a lot of the mediocrity in this world versus the people that rise in any industry. It's the ones that get knocked down and say, hey, this sucks. I'm not going to let it happen again. Don't let fear hold you back. You all have the power to do something special every time you touch a deck, you touch a microphone. Thank you, MEX.
Everybody, the sensational Chris Washburn. Thank you, Chris.
I'm really pissed at you.
Ah,
You wore straight black pants. I was waiting for something special. The Big Daddy orange and black or something. My friends, please stand up, make some noise for this man right here.
Thank you.
Chris Washburn. Listen and learn. Anytime you see him anywhere, listen and learn. I love you, my friend. Great job.
thank you, big guy. Thank you, guys.
We got about 5 minutes before the one and only, the
Mitch.
living legend himself,
Absolutely ruled, my friend.
Mr. Johnny Robbins.
I appreciate it.
And I love your time.